these are just 12 practices, best practices that help you manage costs in a business. The first is expense tracking, recording your costs. We cannot even talk about cost management. We cannot talk about cost management. You cannot even say you are serious about managing costs if you are not recording or tracking your costs. Because if you cannot record it, how do we know what the business is ailing from? How do we know if we cannot identify our problem, how do we even start solving a problem we don't know? So for us to know which costs are a problem, for us to know which costs are a burden, for us to know which costs are causing problems in your business, we need to identify them first. And how do you identify them? You have to record your costs. Now, this is more of a discipline, because the truth is, when you spend money, you have trails everywhere, particularly in this age, this digital age. You want to pay your supplier, you send them a transfer from your bank app or from your internet app, or even when you pay cash, right? You send them that transfer, your bank gives you a notification or some receipt that you did a transfer for something. That is one trail that you've made an expense. Another trail is you send the money to your supplier. Your supplier calls you and says, thanks, I got the money, and sends you a receipt. Whether it is a digital receipt or a paper receipt, they send you a receipt. These are evidences scattered everywhere in your business of expenses that you've incurred. These are records that you are not documenting, because all you need to record is the time the transaction occurred, what you paid for, and how much you paid for it. That's very simple. In fact, I think there are just 4 things. The date, the time the transaction happened, the time you spent, the day you paid rent, the day you bought 50 liters of diesel. Time, very important. Time. What was the date? And if you're using digital records, these digital apps are so good that they don't only give you dates, they give you time. There's a timestamp. They say you paid for this at 6:05 p.m. on the 5th of September 2024. Time. When did the transaction happen? What did you pay for? If money left your business, we need to know what was it for, so that when we get to another practice I'm going to talk about, we need to know whether that thing you paid for was necessary, whether it was justified, whether that was the right time to pay for it. So what? So don't forget what we're talking about. If you're going to track your costs, when did it happen? When? Time. So this is, I'm telling you, you can put it on a piece of paper. You can open your notes app or your keep app on your phone and record these things. Very simple. When did the transaction happen? What did you pay for? What did you pay for? Diesel, rent, goods. And what was the quantity? I bought 20 cartons of this. I bought 3 rolls of this. What did you pay for? The name and the quantity of what you paid for. The third thing, who did you pay this money to? Because if you're going to spend money, that money is going to somewhere. That's the first reason. The second reason is that if somebody is going to commit fraud or theft, even a thief needs to receive the money. So that's why the who question is important. Who did you send the money to? That record needs to be there. Wood supplier, you put in the person's name or whatever name that, so that and this is particularly useful if you're going to do an audit. I think an audit is somewhere here, financial audit is number 7. If you're going to do an audit and start investigation if something goes wrong in your business, if you don't know, if you see that you paid for something on the 7th of October and you paid $10,000 for it, but there's no name, you don't know who you paid it to, that entry is useless. We just know that money left the business, but we don't know who it went to. So we need to know who. So don't forget, when did it happen? What did you pay for? What's the name of the thing and the quantity? Who did you pay to? And then how much? These are the 4 key elements of record keeping. When did it happen? What did you pay for? What was the quantity? Who did you pay it to? And how much did you pay? Simple.